Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Frontline. I'm your host, Christopher Billings, and we are on our second episode of Frontline. That we just found out at the end of last week that this is live, and you get to see it right on YouTube, right on your computer screens. You can see all the magical matches happen. And last week was it was a good week for you guys to first see Frontline. But now we're moving right into the second. Like I said, we're moving on to current events, our second week here, and we're gonna jump right into the action. There's not really too much other stuff that we really want to get to tonight. Like I said, we have a very small time frame window. We get about 30 minutes to do this, so we're just gonna kick right into it. And first off, we have Chris Nolan taking on Damian Wallace. And Chris Nolan, nobody really knows anything about Chris Nolan outside of being a diehard fan. They would know the most about him. But wrestling scene-wise, nobody really knows what this young man does. They only know his name is Chris Nolan. And, that's okay. He's new to the sport. So he doesn't have a long resume or anything of that nature. He's got a very unique persona, to say the least. I've talked to him a few times, and he's a very nice young gentleman. And his opponent loves to dance. He loves to dance. Damian Wallace. This is, he thinks he's in his own little cartoon world all the time. He's dancing. He loves to party. He loves to have fun. Last week, he picked up a very big win over Anthony Guerrero Jr. and Chris Nolan. And that's why this matchup's happening. Chris Nolan requested this matchup against Damian in the environment without Demetrius being there to the extra leverage. So we're about to see if Chris Nolan can go one-on-one with Damian Wallace, or if it's going to be the other way around. And Damian Wallace is going to go to for losing. So I hope you are ready to get this one underway. I'm ready to see this. Here we go. Damian Wallace, Chris Nolan, one-on-one, and Chris Nolan right onto the attack here. Switches positions to that side wrist lock into the side headlock, and then an elbow right on top of the head there. Attempted that jumping drop kick, but Damian Wallace was able to swat him away, push him down, and now Wallace with a beautiful German suplex. And I said this in the last match, but Damian Wallace has really started to come into his own. He's starting to be more aggressive in his matches. He's starting to inflict more damage than what he receives, and that's good, because Damian Wallace is starting to get taken seriously a little bit. But Chris Nolan gains control there and gets a seated neck breaker. And a kick to the abdomen, and then there's that standing jumping drop kick. And some of these kicks are very dangerous. They can hurt you very badly. And a big springboard drop kick there. Totally got the arm in the chest, and he didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it to knock Damian Wallace down. And now, but Damian Wallace, big, much needed counter there. Now Damian Wallace getting on the offensive here, trying to make something happen. Damian Wallace has that modified surfboard stretch here. And Chris Nolan able to power out, which you don't see very often. And now Chris Nolan getting the better of the situation, but Damian Wallace just is able to shut him down and reverse him as he does something. In a beautiful, quick butterfly suplex, he went for the pin there, but Damian Wallace was able to kick out. Another attempted springboard, but Damian Wallace, it looked like he kicked Chris Nolan in the back of the head. But Chris Nolan counters from the ground. And then that big running crossbody. And again the springboards, and this is why these smaller guys are so exciting to watch. They take these big risks, and that jumping face crusher there. Then this may be it. I don't know, is this going to be it? Damian Wallace just took a ride from Chris Nolan there with that laying down facebuster. 1, 2, 3, and that is all she wrote. Chris Nolan picks up the win over Damian Wallace in a one-on-one situation. And I believe in large fault that it may have, I thought that the turning point was going to be when Damian Wallace countered that there, but then out of nowhere, Chris Nolan just brought it back with that, the jumping complete shot. And as you saw here, face first, just planted him down. That was it, that was the end of the story. And so congratulations to Chris Nolan for picking up a big win over Damian Wallace in our second episode of Frontline here. And as long as Damian Wallace doesn't take some negative aspect of it, he should be okay. Just learn from his mistake. Don't get that jumping complete shot next time. And see if Chris Nolan could have done that in the tag team match last week. He might be in a better situation. He might have won that match. But congratulations again to Chris Nolan. Damian Wallace has nothing to be ashamed of. He did fine in that match. And ultimately that's just the way it works. There's always going to be one winner, one loser, and you can't change that. And now we need to shift gears and move on to our next matchup, which is going to be a barn burner to say the least. This matchup is going to feature Jerry Graham, who is currently undefeated on Frontline, facing somebody that he has trained with through his entirety of being trained by Die Hard. And that is going to be against Die Hard's brother-in-law, James Braden. Now, for those of you that followed James Braden, who wrestled normally, he was very dangerous. And after a while, he started coming and going. But from what I understand is, this matchup is going to be just a normal one-on-one matchup, disqualification, everything counts. So Jerry Graham versus James Braden, the final protege versus the brother-in-law. This is going to be a pretty crazy match. I'm going to put my cards on. I want to say I want Jerry Graham to win, but like I said, James Braden is a very dangerous individual, very strong, very physically demeaned, and he will bully Jerry Graham. He may not look like he was Jerry Graham, he's a little bit taller, but James Braden is built like a Chevy truck, and if he gets you in his sights, that might not be a good thing. It's been a while since we've seen James Braden actually wrestle on the show. So this matchup it's sure to please. And I've been calling James Braden's matches ever since he started wrestling for the Power Plant. I've seen the progression of his character through the years, and I would have to say that now at this point in time, he's in probably the best shape of his life. He's very fit right now. He's not overweight. His hair isn't crazy. He's very fit right now, and we're about to see the one-time match that we never thought we'd get to see: Jerry Graham versus James Braden, and the one-on-one environment that we never thought would be possible. And here we go, and Jerry Graham quick onto the offense there. He's trying to get that advantage on James Braden. He wants to get a quick advantage because I think he realizes that James has the ability to tear him apart. But James Braden there, big clothesline, just knocked Jerry Graham right onto the ground, and James can foresee what is happening here. He can see that, Jerry Graham really wants this win. And so James is just, look at these. These are just hammer fists. Those are just hammer fists there to knock Jerry Graham down onto the ground. There was nothing, nice or friendly about that. That was just a mean hammer fist from James Braden. And now Jerry Graham trying to fight back. Oh, big right hand knocked James Braden to the outside. But this time, Jerry Graham is not taunting and not trying to run to the outside to try to scare him off. And now James Braden taking on the offensive. And as you see, oh, wait a second, James Braden is turning Jerry Graham upside down in the turnbuckle. Oh my God, and that foot, that boot, right on the throat. And like I said, it's been a while since we've seen James Braden in the ring. And a lot of people figured he'd have some type of ring rust. But he's not missing a beat right now. He is literally dishing out the pain right now. He's dishing the pain to Jerry Graham. He's showing Jerry Graham why Die Hard is his brother-in-law. And but Jerry Graham is not stepping down. He's not stepping back. But oh, look at this beautiful sleeper hold by James Braden. Is Jerry Graham going to tap? No. Oh, Jerry Graham jawbreaker to get out of that sleeper hold. Like I said, this matchup is intense. I can feel their animosity for each other kind of brewing through the to the announce table here. But oh, big kick right to the face. And Jerry Graham counters from the ground. And now Jerry Graham into that side wrist lock. And a beautiful, quick drop toe hold. And again, as you see, James Braden is still quickly getting to his feet. Jerry Graham has not been on the offensive in this matchup. He's been playing defense. And he's been getting torn apart by James. And now James is kind of asserting his dominance here. But Jerry Graham not having any of that. Switches positions into that reverse armbar there, bringing James down to the ground. And that'll take any... It doesn't matter how much bigger you are than somebody, that's going to bring you down onto the ground. And so now James Braden has that front tie-up, but Jerry Graham gains control and again going to work on the arms. And Jerry Graham is wrenching. He is wrenching on that left arm, but James Braden able to get himself out of that predicament. And now Jerry Graham with the beautiful side belly to back, and then a big jumping elbow. Now, wait a second, Jerry Graham's calling for it. We saw this last week. This is the move that Jerry Graham used to put Owens away. Look at this. He's got that fisherman and then the inside cradle. Only a 1 count on James Braden. And normally that would be that'd be the end of the game for James. But he was able to kick out after a 1 count. There's not enough damage done to James Braden yet, and that's a good thing. And now Jerry Graham was trying to wrench that submission on James, but James is just he's too strong right now. And now, wait a second, James might be looking at this. Jerry Graham foresaw his future. He foresaw what was coming, but James Braden again from behind. That the dominance and the physical aggression factor that he holds so dear and is able to do. That is what makes this matchup so unique, is that James Braden knows how to beat somebody, and he knows how to do it very easily. And now, James Braden still asserting his dominance, still physically overpowering. He's overpowering Jerry Graham right now. And unfortunately, Jerry Graham needs to make something happen. A big right hand, though, that may be the difference maker that he needed. Wait a second, Jerry Graham, he's looking at it again. Hooks that leg. Inside cradle, hooks the legs. 1, 2, only a 2 count. That's 2. That's 2 times now that James Braden is kicked out. And typically, we'd only see James kick out 1 time. Maybe. That's twice now. James Braden is dishing out some pain. And now Jerry Graham, that front face suplex, he's trying to stay on the aggression and on the offensive here, but what do you do when you've thrown your best moves at your opponent and they've kicked out of them? And wait a second, Jerry Graham Jerry Graham counters with a kick to the abdomen. Another attempted kick, but James Braden caught him again, and now in that reverse Achilles lock, kind of like a twisted ankle hold, but Jerry Graham was quickly able to get out of that. In the submission situation, I don't know which one would be stronger, because Jerry Graham is a very good submission user, but so is James Braden. And so we're going to see here who would technically do better. And Jerry Graham, with the much-needed counter at a much-needed time, whips James Braden to the ropes, catches him in that rotating modified side slam into the cover, and only a 1 count there. But wait a second, Jerry Graham, he's looking for it. Here we go. There's 1 powerbomb on James Braden. There's the second power bomb. Can he do a third power bomb? There we go. And wait, what's Jerry Graham? He's looking for the submission here. He knows that he might be able to tap James Braden. He's wrenching. He's got that knee placed very firmly in between the shoulder blades. And James Braden had nowhere to go. He had to tap out to Jerry Graham, giving Jerry Graham the big, much-needed win tonight in a situation in a match that was just spectacular. James Braden kicked out of not one, but two finishers and almost put Jerry Graham away a couple of times. And Jerry Graham got that submission victory after the triple power bombs, after doing 3 power bombs in a row. You know, all that pain and energy rushing to your back, and then to have somebody place their knee in between your shoulder blades at the back of your head, just wrench away. That will make you submit. And so Jerry Graham picks up another win, continuing his undefeated streak here on Frontline. And no shame for James Braden on losing this matchup. He did a fantastic job. He almost won, you know, and he did it in a dominating performance. He went out there, and I think Jerry Graham is just glad and lucky that he's okay right now and that he ended up winning. I think he's just excited that he ended up winning. Yeah, I don't know if he can really believe it yet because James was dishing out the pain. And, you know, congrats again to Jerry Graham. And our main event, we have Lance Owens taking on Extreme in an Extreme Rules match. And we don't normally do the gimmicky type matches, but what happened was last week after Extreme tore apart Kyle Bateman, Lance Owens challenged Extreme to an Extreme Rules match. And Extreme happily obliged and said, sure, I'd be happy to do this match against you. So I guess what it really comes down to is Lance Owens ready for this type of match against Extreme? Because we're about to find out. And Lance, if you can hear me, which I know you can't, but if you could, I would tell you to hit and run. You know, never stay in one place too long against Extreme, because if he catches you, it's going to be a long night. And so, again, Lance Owens, if you can hear me, hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. That's what you want to do. You do not want to give Extreme the opportunity to really get you in his grasp, because he will make everything very, very unenjoyable for you. And but yeah, so anyway, so Lance Owens, he's been coming up, he's been making his name, he's been getting known a little bit better. And again, the fans are very upset with Extreme. Last week, or not even last, on episode 1, he attacked Kyle Bateman. Immediately following their matchup. After he beat him, he went on to continue to beat him up after the match. At one point in time, this former 4-time tag team champion was hailed as one of the nicest guys in the locker room. Everybody loved Extreme, but now people loathe him. People are tired of seeing him. People just don't like him anymore because of the path that he has decided to take. Oh, because he feels that he was held down by TPP management, which that's not necessarily true. Unfortunately, though, due to the decisions that Die Hard made, it was beyond anybody's control. And so here we go. Now we have Extreme versus Lance Owens, the main event of episode 2 here in Extreme. Right on the offensive, the elbow right to the head, and then a big right hand, and Extreme's not wasting any time here. Oh, big knee to the abdomen. Another knee to the abdomen. And just chaining this together with a beautiful side Russian leg sweep, showing you that he doesn't get paid by the hour. And so now Extreme is just asserting himself in this matchup. He's just physically down, but no, Lance Owens with a much-needed counter there. Unfortunately, he was not able to follow up with it the way I was hoping that he was going to be able to. And now Extreme is kind of having his way with Lance Owens. And unfortunately, if Lance Owens has a hope of winning, he needs to mount a big offense, which that counter right there might have been a big one, and then a big running clothesline. Extreme back to his feet, back on the aggression here. And now Lance Owens getting some offense, and he's starting to make a little bit of a comeback there. Now, Lance Owens is not giving up, and a beautiful dragon suplex. He didn't bridge it, but that was a beautiful dragon suplex from Lance Owens. And this is what I say when I say that Lance Owens is really starting to come into his own. He's starting to learn and hone his craft. I mean, he's looking very solid in the ring now. He's stomping the heck out of Extreme right now. That's, like I said, you know, that's a 280-pound man that he's stomping and kicking, and he's really dishing it out with. But Extreme just bullying him in the corner here. That's what he did. He bullied him into the corner, and then he just throws him out of it. I mean, that's almost the full length of the ring that he threw him. And now Extreme gonna, well, he's living up to the Extreme rules, I guess. Oh, big hot shot to the outside. Now what's Extreme thinking? Extreme with that side wrist lock. But Lance Owens able to counter. But Extreme again able to counter. And our senior official, Terry Gates, he's there. He's ready. And wait a second. Extreme threw Owens into the crowd, and wait a second, he's hanging him over that barricade. He took somebody's crutch out of the fans there. Oh, a crutch right across the back of the head of Lance Owens. And that will leave a mark. That is not comfortable at all. And now it looks like Extreme is searching for some equipment here. It looked like he pulled out a table, but Lance Owens wasn't having any of that. And a big side Russian leg sweep there from Extreme. And now Extreme's taking a fan's drink. Oh, but Lance Owens used that drink as a weapon, that cup. He used it as a weapon. But Extreme back to his feet, that big, you know, size 15 boot. And now Extreme taking a drink of that fan's drink, and then, oh, he just spit it in the face of Lance Owens and then slapped him with that cup. This is, oh, and then again with that drink. And now Extreme just starting to have his way. He's not, I don't think he's in any super rush. And wait a second, Extreme just, Lance Owens head first into a guitar. And now what's Extreme doing? Extreme looked like he was getting a weapon, but Lance Owens still trying to stay in this. He's trying to stay in this matchup to win. But Extreme just physically dominating right now. Now Extreme, what's he doing? Oh, now Extreme has a table. And that he used that table as a weapon. So here we go. Oh, but Lance Owens able to get a big, much-needed counter, but Extreme with the counter of his own. And now another Russian leg sweep. There haven't been any near falls in this matchup, as Extreme, I think, is just kind of taking his time. He's enjoying this right now, I think. And another huge counter from Extreme. Oh, wait a second, but Lance Owens with another counter. And now Extreme. This is back and forth here. Lance Owens knows how close he is to possibly going through that table, and I don't think he wants that to be his fate. So now we have, but Lance Owens trying to, you know, stay alive in this matchup. Lance Owens trying to stay alive. And Extreme is, you know, if he, especially here on the outside, every move is going to hurt so much more as, you know, you get slammed around. But Owens still hanging in here, countered that, what I'd imagine was the fall-away slam into a side backbreaker. And now Extreme with a big side belly to back on the outside. And like I said, the mat out here is not very thick. It's a very small mat. And Extreme just beeled Lance Owens across that table. That's not a good thing. And now again, it looked like Extreme was looking for that fall-away slam, but Lance Owens able to counter it. But Extreme again counters. And wait a second, Extreme, he's got Owens up. The 90-degree tombstone there. Now Extreme hooks the far leg. 1, 2, 3, and that is all. That is it. That is game over after that tombstone, especially when it's on the outside like that. Lance Owens just could not get into the rotation, or he couldn't get into the rhythm that he needed to win this matchup. He was trying, but he just couldn't get it going against Extreme, and not too many people really can get it going against Extreme. Extreme is a 280-pound, very dangerous man, and when he starts in his rhythm, it's very hard to derail him. He is one of the most fit guys we have, on the rosters. He's probably one of the most fit wrestlers there are, and he just physically demands so much. And he's got such a physical overshadow of everybody because of that, and he would be a great champion if he wasn't so pompous now. And unfortunately for Lance Owens, tonight was not his night. Extreme continues on in his undefeated tirades, and we are out of time for episode 2, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to catch us next time. Like I said, I know we only had 5 total episodes of runtime, and we've already burned through 2. We've only got 3 more, so I will do my best to make the following 3 episodes as entertaining as possible for you guys. So on behalf of everybody in the power plant, on behalf of everybody on Frontline, on behalf of Full Screen and Creator X, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us tonight. Give us a like, leave us a subscribe. I'm Christopher Billings, and have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.